What every long-term healthcare policyholder needs to know about a state long-term care benefit partnership plan. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Now, I'm sure that you didn't get up one day and think about whether or not you would ultimately end up being in a nursing home or an adult care facility, or even whether you'd need assistance from your family. But at some point, maybe you started to think about that, or someone in your family started to think about it. I find that most people in their 50s start thinking about that as they see their parents age and they have to deal with their parents having problems with activities of daily living, like bathing, getting to the toilet, getting off the toilet, dressing, eating, bathing, those basic functions. And people begin to think about, should I have a long-term health care policy and what are my options? Now, you need to understand that regular health care insurance does not cover long-term care, and Medicare will only cover short nursing home stays or a limited amount of home health care for rehabilitation after a hospital stay. So you can see that there's this big gap of coverage. And so one of the things that you're going to be considering is when you're buying this long-term health care policy or plan is whether or not the state in which you live has long-term care benefits for their state residents. And that's will be something called a state partnership long-term care benefit plan. Now, many states have these partnership programs with long-term care insurance companies, and that also has some interaction with Medicaid benefits. Depending on where you live, a single person would have to spend down their assets to just $2,000 to be eligible for Medicaid. And that means that you won't be having any kind of estate to leave to your family, or any additional monies available to you if you had additional expenses. It's hard to live on $2,000 a month. In other words, you have to be poor. But if you live in a state that has a partnership program, the long-term care insurance company will be offering you a policy that will also provide certain protections or benefits, like cost of living adjustments, and the amount of the fees that they pay for the services that you need when you're no longer able to provide yourself with this kind of assistance can be impacted by this state partnership program. So there's this interaction between the long-term health care carrier and the state partnership program. That's important for you to understand because there are some significant limitations and provisions and requirements that you have to meet. So what can happen is that you can potentially preserve your assets without having to exhaust those assets by having a long-term healthcare policy and being part of a partnership program. In fact, it might make you eligible for Medicaid sooner. So these are important considerations that you need to consider in how you buy a policy. And of course, there can be disputes about this coverage and who's paying what as you need this coverage. If that, in fact, is happening to you, give me a call at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation. We can try to figure this out together and figure out what the insurance company should be paying and the state partnership should be paying. 727-894-3188.